Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino. Joining us is Mary D'Onofrio, partner with Bessemer Venture Partners. Mary, it's great to have you back. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to the conversation.
All right, you got it. And Bessemer recently hosted its Cloud 100 Summit in partnership with Forbes and Salesforce Ventures to celebrate the definitive list of the top 100 private cloud companies in the world. What were some of the key trends that emerged from the event?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing worth noting is just the total growth in the valuations of the private cloud companies. And this definitive list of the top 100 private cloud companies. It's worth a total of $518 billion this year, up from $267 billion last year, and 94% increase in just 1 year alone. For the first time, every Cloud 100 company was actually a unicorn. And we saw particular growth in the fintech category, led by the likes of Stripe and Plaid, and sales and marketing and customer experience category, with the likes of Attentive, Yotpo, and Intercom. We've seen particular growth in those two subsectors.
What were some of the companies in attendance?
Yeah, we had some of the world's biggest and brightest in attendance, and CEOs that represent some of the biggest trends in software more broadly. The rise of vertical software, represented by Toast and ServiceTitan, the growth of data infrastructure, represented by Databricks, and collaboration software with the likes of Canva and Hopin. And we also had some attendees that sit at the crossroads of professional sports, media, and investing, like Larry Fitzgerald and Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty interesting. Mary, what were some of were many of these trends accelerated because of the pandemic, and are they sustainable? Where is the cloud headed?
One trend I can certainly think that the pandemic accelerated was the globalization of cloud. We've said for years that Silicon Valley doesn't have a monopoly on innovation, but with the work from anywhere movement, we found that remote first and distributed cloud teams across North America, EMEA, APAC, et cetera, are more and more the norm than the exception. And international representation on the Cloud 100 list this year was close to 30%, the highest ever, including some companies that Bessemer itself has backed, like Canva in Australia or Mambu in Germany. And what we're seeing is that cloud companies can start and grow from anywhere. And that's something that I certainly think that the pandemic accelerated and will continue to accelerate.
Mary, what does the future of work look like? It seems as if this hybrid virtual component, whether it's work or school, appears to be here, at least for the near term.
Certainly. I mean, I think it's more efficient, more scalable, and provides higher access to diverse pools of talent from around the world. We actually had a really great session during the Cloud 100 featuring Zapier, Hopin, Vimeo, and Talend that discussed this in particular. And the CEOs of those companies really advocated for the rise of asynchronous communication and landmark virtual events to really characterize the future of work and what it will look like on an ongoing basis. But they also acknowledged that one of the challenges is producing a cohesive company culture. So advocated for a very special and emphatic focus on making working relationships personal and not just transactional.
What was discussed in regards to hypergrowth and scalability?
It was really about identifying market opportunities and really listening to your customers. I think this is one of the characteristics of all the Cloud 100 companies and companies that have been able to scale to that level. We had a great panel with Gong, Confluent, and Databricks on that topic. Gong, for instance, found an underserved market and really focused on what their customers wanted, which was democratized insight gathering. And Confluent created an entire category by capturing the love and mind share of their users. I think that's broadly the trend that we've seen throughout many scaled cloud companies today. It's user-led growth and a radical fixation on on listening to what your customers are saying. So I think that that's the key hypergrowth insight for at least this coming wave of cloud companies.
I noticed just how diverse the featured speakers are. What does that say about the industry as a whole? Is the tech space evolving into a more diverse sector in general?
I think there's definitely a focus on increasing representation and highlighting diverse voices in the tech industry and in venture. And as the event sponsors and creators, we are supportive of that wholeheartedly, and we're happy to contribute to it via the Cloud 100 speakers. And the Cloud 100 itself also featured 6 women-led companies, and we're proud at Bessemer to actually be invested in all of them, including one I'm particularly close to, LaunchDarkly. But as those numbers suggest, there's still a lot more room for growth and improvement.
All right, Mary, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.